Cheers.
Cheers.
Almost forgot.
I didn't forget, I just wanted to get where's it gone out of the way first.
That's how long it's been. Okay, so the reason it's gone is the same way you saw me have to reset all of this. I had to reinstall Windows 10.
Oh, that sucks.
And therefore a shit ton of applications as well. And most awkward being like video editing, photo editing. XSplit was alright, but the preset that was there was quite old. So I had to even redo all of the chat stuff. But hey, it still looks pretty good. It's right there, so that's nice. I never thought about the word nonsense. It's actually quite funny. Literal period of nonsensical, yes.
Yep, it's a compound. It's a compound word.
Yeah, how are you doing, Ed? I hope you're doing very well. It's nice to be back. Like
it's been a while.
It's been so fucking long. I've been so busy. 'Cause like over summer, you know, it's chill. It's summer.
Yeah,
we've got plenty of time.
I mean, I always have plenty of time anyway.
But now you're doing shit. Yeah, like I mean, it's not summer, but now you're doing stuff.
I'm doing stuff on the days you're doing stuff anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also sometimes not. Like, I don't know. Either way, like, a lot of technical rehearsals and stuff, that always puts me out of commission for basically a week. Like normal people.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Ed, are you going to go back to your Amazon job now that you get paid, like, a decent wage?
Living wage.
Living wage, yeah. Still wouldn't call it all that decent, especially depending on the... no. It was
Simple.
that bad.
Fair enough.
Yeah. That's the thing, yeah. No matter how much you pay some people, they're not going to forget about these conditions are still shit. It's awful. Which is why I'm fine with my job being minimum wage, because it's like it's still damn pleasant and a lot better than all places. Especially than you hear people working at various other places. Especially other theatres. Of course, you as well.
Yep, that's what I say. Reds, I was working for, but if it was $5.50 an hour. So 12-hour shifts.
Fucking ageism, man. I hate it.
On my own.
I prefer hefting shit around building sites and being the most intelligent guy there. Wow, okay. You know what, man? If that's what I guess that's what he's doing.
What do you mean, wow, okay? Ed's an intelligent boy.
Yeah, he is, but it just quite boastful about it. Just like, I know I'm the most intelligent guy.
To be fair, you have to have a very high IQ to understand the
building sites.
The building site etiquette.
And the hefting shit around.
Shit around.
It's a half joke.
Physics. There's a lot of physics that goes into hefting shit around without breaking your back open.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
We watch...
Love medical knowledge.
Dude, the...
Physiotherapy.
That's... one of my favourite things is watching, like, the training videos on it every year.
Hang on. A joke is a joke. You can't call it a half.
Ooh.
An A-press is an A-press. You can't call it a half.
Okay, man.
Go on. Training videos.
Yeah. Because they're so fucking ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have stuff about, like, safe lifting and all that. Not that you really have to do it all that much. It's
Lift with your knees, not with your back.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Get into a squat position or whatever. Yeah, like, it's something about, like, don't stoop. And you see... Like, so it's like, plan, prepare, proceed. Like, so you have to plan. Even if you're just carrying something from, like, there to there. Like, no, you have to plan your route.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the guy walk along the route. And then there's clearly, like, you know, any obstacles in the way. And there's, like, a step. And it's a concrete step. And he's, like, pushing on it with his foot. Like, yeah, that's a step. Like, what the fuck? And then it's also, so you want to gauge the weight of whatever you're lifting. Clearly. Like, maybe look inside. Just to give it a little lift. And then they're in an office building, and so one of them has like a stack of papers in it, and they open another one, it's filled with bricks.
Oh yeah, all those office supplies.
Whoa, I didn't expect to be lifting that. God, I'm glad I checked in here. Oh, it's so ridiculous. I love the absurd situations they come up with to justify training you through something that wouldn't happen. It's wonderful. Oh, stupid. Carrying 2 concrete blocks, one in each hand, dropped one on my foot, and went to grab my foot in pain, then dropped the other block on my other foot. Smartest guy there, though.
I just defended you.
Smartest guy there.
I hope you're at least wearing steel-toe boots, because if you weren't, then I'm going to abandon you forever.
It sounds like he wasn't. If like
it sounds like he's out of a fucking infomercial.
Yeah. I've fallen and I can't get up.
Also, fucking steel-toe boots. You know, if it drops behind the steel-toe bit.
Yeah, that's true. Just love the mental image. Oh, you are good.
There we go. Okay.
The steel hit the top. Oh, that's bad, man. That's some bad steel. Okay, I don't know. Iron toe boots. I don't know. Better. Is that better?
Inferior by a long margin.
Well, damn.
Yeah.
That shows what I know.
Don't use steel toe boots. Wear paper toe boots. They're so much better.
Shows what I know about my metals.
Yeah, you'd have no feet. Yeah. So steel toe boots are good.
Yeah.
Like they can sort of withstand. Like, your foot will get broken a little bit, but if a fucking truck goes over them or something, the steel toe boots will keep you not footless. Footless.
God damn it. Yeah, so we start off in
music news, as always, your segment, as I comment on.
Yeah, I mean... Okay, wait. Look, we'll just cut it. Let's cut this bit. Because I'll change this as well, and then we can cut it.
Too much Laura and Hardy. Okay, well, you're the reason why American upstart parents say, kids are influenced too heavily by TV. You alone. They're using you as a case study right now to ban video game violence. Are you proud?
Okay, so moving on to music, which is basically just the Kanye segment.
Yep.
Like, that's what it is nowadays.
Not a bad thing.
So, I mean, quick shout out in terms of, like, new albums that have been released. No Name finally came out with her, second album. I don't know, maybe the first one was a mixtape or an EP. Either way, it's a really good album. It's called Room 25. Check it out. If you like lullaby music, that's what she claims it is, because everybody's like... Why does she rap in such kind of a hushed tone, or why does she always sound so sleepy, or she's whispering to you? It's not quite ASMR, don't freak out. But she's like, I make lullaby music. I'm like, that's a really cool way of owning it. Yeah, she's awesome. Dab on the haters, yeah, Fluffy.
I'm a cool dad.
God,
do I fit in?
I'm gonna open up the TikTok app and dive.
Open up the TikTok app and dive straight at the camera.
It's bad that after seeing so many adverts, it's making me actually want to download it. Just make the worst shit ever.
Yeah, the troll ones.
Which isn't hard to do, though. To make the cringiest, worst thing out, it's pretty easy.
I mean...
It's all there for you.
It's a very philosophical app that presents a lot of questions, like, why do good girls like bad guys? I've had this question for a real long time.
Oh dear. So No Name is pretty good. She also did a great medley of 3 songs from the album on Stephen Colbert. It's her first TV debut, and Stephen Colbert's really good at getting on lesser known artists like her on there, which is awesome. Hey Niall, hope you're doing well, buddy.
It's 4:30.
Shush, it's breakfast.
It's 12
Whenever they're listening to it, they can listen to it at breakfast, though.
Yeah, it's 12 p.m. at the latest. That's what it is.
Stabbing on the haters. MAGA!
I'm a cool dad.
Okay.
Mum, get the camera, I'm going to hit a fat dab. So
No Name's pretty good. Check her out. It's really just nice, sweet. It's a 35-minute album. It's lovely. She's gonna need to change the album artwork, unfortunately, because it came out that the artist was an abuser and has apparently been a rapist. So yeah, so she's I respect the victim, and to do that, I'm gonna look into changing the artwork. That's really cool. Just a quick response from her. That was really nice. Can't really think of much else that's been released, honestly. There've been a few things, but nothing that's too huge and stand out.
We all know the most important release is Kanye's Multiverse Theory.
Fuck's sake. Or Venom. We don't want Venom. Not gonna know what hit him. That's the Venom thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's really bad. And he performed it on top of the Empire State Building. That doesn't make it a good track. It's like, okay, it's a cool place to do it.
Yep.
But why that track? Why the worst track? Just because Sony's paying for it, I assume so. Yeah, so don't listen to Venom. Don't go watch Venom, apparently. I'm probably going to watch it so I can at least do a little video on it, but we'll see. Anyway, so Kanye is, yeah, I mean, he is music, isn't he?
Can you
really?
feel it? Can you feel the love tonight?
Anybody listening to this is just going to be like, the fuck is this boy doing? He just dabbed. Just dabbing on the haters. You don't need to see this. It's probably for the best.
It's ironic dabbing that makes it okay. It doesn't. I'm sorry.
It's for the best that you don't see it anyway.
It's for the best that I just leave, doesn't it? I should just leave.
It's just breakfast now. Bye-bye.
No, it's Ben and Breakfast. It's just not Ben's and Breakfast.
You wanna change the name to Ben's and Breakfast? That'd be really bad. Yeah, it would ruin
Break
it.
the flow.
Yeah, it would ruin it. Anyway, so because did you hear about this? He was in Detroit, and he went to a school there, jumped up on a table and started ranting. Right? It's the most fucking Kanye thing to do. And there's a video of it, and he's just like ranting, saying, "Leave Elon Musk alone."
I mean, I agree with that sentiment.
God damn it.
Because, no, like, even if you don't like him, leave him alone, because this is exactly how supervillains start.
Yeah, exactly.
He is and the worst part is, everyone would join him. He's the most charismatic, likeable He likes anime. He likes anime. He wants the anime. He wants to make a mech. And if he wants to make a mech, he'll make a fucking mech.
Weebs like him. Weebs like him.
They like it. I mean,
they're easily won over though, guys. Don't be so like just because he tweets about Your Name, like one of the biggest films ever.
Just because he tweets, you like one anime and forever you're a trap-loving weeb. Just because he tweets that. Just because he knows what traps are and weebs are.
Oh god. I mean, what you look at his history, Urban Dictionary, straight up. What a trap! What's a weeb? Oh dear. So, yeah, because, the people of Detroit, especially the schools that have
they are the sort to start getting on at Elon Musk, yeah.
And they're the ones who really need to hear this shit.
Yeah.
Who lets him into a school, first of all? And second of all, it's just...
I don't think they let him in. I think he found a way in and just sort of wandered in. Like, he's the local, he's the local homeless guy. Homeless Kanye, the ranting man.
Puts his hood up his lip.
Just tries to... He kneels down, shuffles in on his knees, trying to be their height, gets in among the class, and then just jumps up and he's like, it's me, Kanye. And they're like, oh, no, not again. Fuck. He got in again.
God damn it, Kanye. I thought we blocked up every goddamn hole. My dad's doing that. He's on it. I'm walking it tonight. Yeah, and then obviously he had that meeting with Trump. I've not seen the full thing, but apparently it's like 20 minutes of him just ranting about a shit ton of stuff and like saying, I love this man right here. I love him. And like hugs him up.
Thank you, Kanye. Very cool.
That's basically what his thing was. And Kanye is one of the only people that Trump won't like talk over because he's just like, yeah, you know what? Wise man.
This is clout.
Yeah, basically he's like, yeah, he's just praising me. I'm gonna let this be. Yeah. And it's like, it's awful.
I'm gonna let you finish.
He just waits there. Yes. And even he's like, fucking hell, he's still going, Jesus Christ.
There's a moment where you have to realise that even if someone's singing your praises, if the song starts to be 20 minutes long, maybe you should, take the disc out.
Could it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh dear. Yeah, he's working with a lot of people on music as well, but nobody cares about that. What people do, but like his politics is messed up. But his mentality is. Like, he's clearly got problems more than just bipolar, and he needs to be on his meds. You can't have this guy just walking around in schools and hopping on tables and ranting to every fucking person he sees. Because you're just shouting to
at
nobody.
Children.
Yeah, and also just basically to yourself, because they don't care. They don't know what the fuck you're on about. Like, who cares? It's quite bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, That's recent
That's
Kanye
Kanye.
stuff. He just needs. It just keeps getting worse and
That's-
worse, and he really needs help.
Yeah, that's this week's Kanye Watch. That's basically what it is at this point.
Kanye watch it.
Kanye Watch.
Almost his own genre.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's in a league of his own in terms of not music, but also just as a celebrity and a person, and that's why he's still so big because there's nobody really like him, and he's just kind of a fascinating case study.
I mean, Trump's pretty like him because, they're
Yeah.
Dragon Brothers.
Yeah, they are quite similar. Just the difference is that Kanye actually makes a lot of music that people really enjoy and love, and that's the frustration.
And Trump makes
he does
steaks.
that everybody loves.
Everyone.
My favourite. I mean, going to New York next year, August, you best believe I'm hitting up that Trump Tower.
I mean, you better actually get a Trump steak and tell me if it's
it would
disgusting.
be so good.
I need to know if it's as
Can't
bad
wait.
as people say it is, because apparently it's like gristle and shit. So
So yeah,
everyone likes.
that's music.
That's Kanye Watch.
That's no,
Thanks.
it's bad. And we should all stop. We should all stop giving Kanye attention, please.
Let's not.
Please do. Instead,
If we stop, then we'll have to stop that segment, which would be sad.
yeah, that's true actually.
So-
but I'd like to just be like, hey, he came up with some music recently. It was really great, rather than
That's not fair.
preface that with, hey, he did this crazy fucking thing.
I'd love that.
What an idiot!
Yeah.
God damn it. So yeah, we've got a shit ton of stuff to talk about because it's been like almost a month, maybe even more. Telltale died, yeah, while we were away, and it's kind of surreal.
Don't press F.
Um,
Don't pay respects.
don't pay respects to the higher ups.
The company.
The
company as a whole.
developers though.
The developers,
the poor guys who got overworked, underpaid, and no severance paid.
No severance
the,
pay.
The big thing. Yeah, Telltale went under, and it sucks because we were all really looking forward to finally like Wolf Among Us
Yeah.
season 2.
I mean, Wolf Among Us season
Us,
2,
come
yeah.
on.
Walking
Everybody
Dead,
was.
Definitely not.
The thing,
I think
like,
it's stagnated.
I was about to get, because I was like, okay, this is the final season. Maybe I'll finally get into it, because they were also finally making some changes as well in terms of like the look of it, and there were improvements and camera angles and stuff like that
Not
that
to
were
the engine,
different.
though.
Kind of, but still not enough. They
No.
they should have just changed the engine by that point, and the problem is they hadn't, and they stagnated. And they just took on too many projects, and they couldn't handle it all, and they were overworked, which relates to another thing that we'll get onto after this. But yeah, it just kind of sucks. It's a shitty situation.
Quick shout out though to my favourite Telltale series, Tales from the Borderlands. Go play that if you like the Borderlands series,
Yeah.
or if you don't. It's
Yeah.
just a great universe.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll never see a season 2 of that. It's just a real shame.
Yeah.
But apparently, so the craziest thing was that this all happened in the middle of Walking Dead, the final season.
Literally, like the middle of it, episode 2 was just coming out.
Yeah, and they were like, yeah, that's going to be the last one. And
Yeah.
the fuck? That's how just immediate that was.
Yeah.
That's how poor the management was, that they couldn't even drag it out until they finished it.
Episode 3 was like basically ready.
Going to make a joke about Skeleton Crew or something. Walking Dead isn't skeletons. I mean, zombies have skeletons. This is true, but they're not just skeletons.
I mean, crabs also have skeletons, so
The genre of skeletons is very broad.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very broad skeletons.
Yeah, and they had that Skeleton Crew on like 25 people, and that wasn't to finish Walking Dead, that was to finish fucking Minecraft story mode.
Yep. And then they even
Because of contracts to Netflix.
then they dropped one of the Skeleton Crew groups, so it was down to like 20 people.
Mhm.
And then they dropped the Skeleton Crew.
Yeah, then Skeleton Crew, they're gone. Netflix, because they were going to make a Stranger Things game, and Netflix is they're looking into other ways, and other companies are still bringing that to life, which would be very interesting, especially if they take on developers from Telltale.
I'm not sure how much I would like.
Yeah, I'm not
because-
sure how good it
No.
would be.
Like that's an established
I
sort
feel
of
like
thing.
the reason it works for Walking Dead especially is because it's not exactly just the TV show or the comics.
Yeah.
It takes place in the same world but with new characters and that
it's-
you care about.
It's a full world where it's happening all over the world,
Yeah,
whereas
exactly.
Stranger Things is, small town America.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
not It's not a world. It's just one
It's weird,
event.
'cause I think Walking Dead, especially with the first season, took advantage of how not amazing the TV show was.
Yeah.
Because it felt like it could be
Better.
just as good, if not better than it,
Yeah.
with its characters. Whereas then you look at something like Netsticks. No, why Netsticks? No,
Because it's like joysticks.
no. There was a really good name as well that somebody came up with that I totally forgot, but that could totally work.
They should do.
I think they could do because I think they are looking into like a game division, much like Amazon.
They should do a porn section
Already
called Sketflix.
Sketch.
Net dicks. God damn
Net
it.
dicks. There you go.
fuck.
That would have been better.
That'd been so
I was gonna say
much
sket is a little. That's not just porn. That's very specific.
better. That's like British skanks.
Yeah. So Telltale. So now Skybound, who publish the Walking Dead comics, and I think probably have some involvement in the. I'll get my coat. Please do. Have some involvement in the TV series as well.
Mm-hmm.
They, I think, are stepping in to take Walking Dead and finish the season, which is wonderful, because it also means I would assume that they're taking on those developers and stuff. They get jobs, and it'd be great if they can kind of continue that on into like other ventures, because like there's a bunch of interesting graphic novel worlds out there that I think the Telltale kind of treatment, at least with a new engine and stuff,
Yeah.
and a nice amount of time to write the episodes and have this plan set out, would be wonderful.
What's that graphic novel with the people with the TV heads that has like,
Saga, my absolute favourite.
I think that would benefit from a Telltale game.
That could totally, and also that's another one where that's an entire like universe, even like that has separate planets. You could totally do a Saga game and not focus on the exact same characters, but similar to Walking Dead, kind of come across them maybe here and there, because Saga is fucking great. Because I was just reading Volume 9, because that just came out recently. I refreshed myself on it with Volume 8, and then I've gotten like 2/3 of the way through that in like just over an hour. It's just so good. Of course you would. That I think that says more about you and Halo than it does about the potential for a Telltale Halo game.
What about a grabbed by the ghoulies Telltale game?
My favourite.
It's classic Xbox that.
God,
Microsoft.
that is.
Yeah.
That is. That shows how many great exclusives they've got.
Or maybe a Mario one where, he fucks Bowser and gets her pregnant and
Gets her pregnant.
Yeah, Bowser,
Bowser.
Yeah.
I thought you said Bowser.
So, Peach is jealous and there's murder, there's mystery, there's like Bowser Jr. sitting in a corner crying because everyone's masturbating over his dad. There's a bit of everything for everyone.
Can we not? Can we not do this? Can we please not? And then, in fact, because I've not seen the trailer for it yet, but I know a trailer just got released for a Grand Tour game, because Amazon got their own game studios.
Tie-ins.
So of course they want to do licensed tie-ins like that.
Tie-ins with, a real world, that always goes well.
Yeah.
I remember that Mythbusters game.
But I think it's probably more of a safe bet to do a car game before a lot of other things, because
It's not just a racing world though. Like they do the wacky challenges and shit, and it's like about it's about the hosts more.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they implement any of that in any degree, or if it's just straight up a boring ass simulation game.
Photorealistic Jeremy Clarkson.
I think they might actually be mixing it in with clips of them or something like that. They might be getting them to
FMV. That's a very popular.
To be fair, FMV isn't like FMV. Could you imagine they do FMV now and like God, we just can't get live action stuff in video games without the bitrate being like 30. Just
30.
Just
a
30.
bitrate of 30.
A bitrate of 30.
It's one image. That's it. That's all you get. One image
every 30
Clarkson.
seconds.
Grand Tour visual novel.
That would actually work better though. A visual novel.
where you can either romance, the midget hamster, the complete fuck up,
He's my
or
favourite.
the fat Nazi. He's not a Nazi.
I could say, wait, when?
No, Richard Hammond isn't a hamster either.
Yeah, okay. It's just a bit
you know,
more of an extreme.
James May isn't a complete fuck up, just 90%.
This is true.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
It's really mean.
Oh dear. Yeah, I really hope a lot of these devs like land on their feet and stuff though, because they've been screwed over so horribly, and because usually severance pays. That's the thing that like gives you a bit of time so you can focus on getting yourself settled and then getting a job somewhere else, because you might have to move for it. But
a lot of them did move to
Telltale, yeah. But not even having that, it's like you fucking need one right now, and it's terrifying. So yeah, thoughts go out to them, and fuck the management. yeah, thoughts and prayers that the management gets fucked, and they can go broke.
Speaking of overworking and poor management,
yeah,
Rockstar piece of shit.
Gone.
The upper management, that is, obviously not the people who are working
on
it.
Tell them.
So there's a thing going around currently where I believe it was one of the lead writers said, "Oh yeah, we've been really crunching for Red Dead Redemption 2. We've been working 100-hour work weeks." Which blew up, because obviously that's a piece of shit thing to have your workers do. And he said, no, it's fine, it's just me and a few other guys who voluntarily did it. To which an old employee of Rockstar said, no, that's bullshit. It was everyone you were forcing to work. So Rockstar has lifted the social media ban on their employees so they can defend Rockstar, which has not been happening.
That's hilarious.
Because Rockstar are a piece of shit.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Also, Ed, you really should believe it.
Yeah, no.
This is what happens.
Crunch time
is such a big thing, and such a big change that needs to be made in this industry.
Yeah.
So there was an interesting thing from Adam Boyes. He used to work for PlayStation. He was the guy who's at some of the E3 stuff. Blonde hair, pretty big guy, and he was in the thing with Shuhei Yoshida of like, this is how you learn games on PS4, and gave it to that guy. And he commented on it saying, when I was doing QA testing, which is just apparently the worst job, you get treated like shit, it's horrible. But when he was a QA tester, they had a leaderboard. 12 hours per day, some days isn't enough time. Like what? Yeah. Yes.
That's exactly what that is.
Yes, that's exactly what they do. They might even sleep at the office.
This isn't a theorised industry practice. This is a known industry practice that no one likes except the people who get money from it.
And I would highly recommend you go read Blood, Sweat and Pixels from Jason Schreier.
As piece of shit as he has been about the loot box practices and booster practices, which has disappointed me. But
yeah, for sure.
I admit
this is something that he is very passionate about, because he's reported on it.
He's usually a fantastic reporter for Kotaku of all places.
Because this is so in that book he touches on crunching and what a horrible kind of just accepted part of video game development it is. Why they all have basically. Adam Boyes said they had a leaderboard of how many hours they had worked in like for that week.
That's disgusting.
Which is already bad enough. And like, to be fair, I think that might have even been the employees themselves setting it up, but that already shows the kind of culture and the social mentality. Climate. Yeah. And he said the highest he got to was to third place in a week for 118 hours. That was third fucking place. And he said,
no, it is paid, but very low wage, and it is forced, basically.
It's basically not paid as well, because they're on a salary, so it's a lot of it's just unpaid overtime.
It's still paid, it's just ridiculously low pay when you even it out amongst the hours that they've
exactly.
paid.
Because they're getting paid a salary, and that's to work an expected amount of hours. And sure, if you can go like, an extra hour here or there, whatever, you want to get something done. But to go for 100 hours in a week and that sort of thing is horrible.
And it basically is paid because it's an incredibly competitive job industry.
Basically, it's forced, you mean?
Yeah, it basically forced because it's an incredibly competitive job industry where they can, in an instant, sort of lay you off. And sure, they're not allowed to, but...
Especially as soon as the game's over.
Yeah.
Game's done. It's
Rockstar,
out. Bye-bye.
Like, someone like them, they have very, very big access to very, very prominent lawyers who can incredibly easily fight you off, even if it is illegal what they've done. Because
huge problem.
Yeah.
And so that was another thing that Adam touched on when he was talking about this, was that, oh no, even the management told us to stop. They didn't force us, but they told us to stop. Like, we shouldn't be doing this. But did we listen? No, of course we didn't. Because at the end of the day, people they wanted to be a part of the dev team so bad, moving up from QA to actually being a part of the dev team, that they would do that, and they got rewarded. This is the thing. They might not get forced to stop, but they get told to stop. But then it's the opposite thing happens because they get encouraged, because then
they're legally told to stop.
They then get promoted to the dev team because they're like, well, you know what, you were really committed to the project and like all of this shit. And
the QA testing anyway isn't something
very hard working.
It's not part of the game itself in a way. It's more bug testing and shit.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Whilst as a dev, you are part of making the game, so you probably won't get told to stop working these 100-hour weeks because at that point you're actively making their game. And with deadlines, when deadlines are set, you have to start knuckling down to make this game, otherwise it's going to come out a piece of shit and you're going to get fired anyway. So it's a choice of be overworked and fired, or don't be overworked and fired and get less money.
It's... Oh yeah, no, for sure. None of this is to say don't play Red Dead 2.
It's not going to get unmade.
Yeah, exactly. Or feel like a piece of shit every time. But you should just, it's always a good thing to know and understand the work that's gone behind it and the culture and stuff that shouldn't be happening. Like, does it kind of suck sometimes when a game that you're really looking forward to has got delayed? Yeah, but I'd much rather that happen than this horrible fucking crunch time be a thing and just accept it and be like, we have to get it out now. Because Rockstar especially, for me, and I think for a lot of people, kind of unexpected to hear this sort of thing come out from. I know it's happened in the past and stuff.
Not for me.
But because of the huge gaps in time between their games, you're like, oh, they've got plenty of time. That's the thing, they take their time with their games. But no, they still have crunch time at the end of it.
Actually, it's because Red Dead Redemption 2 was stuck in development hell for a long time. Like, it wasn't being worked on properly. It was just in that sort of limbo where games go to die. And it's amazing that it made out in the first place. So,
for sure.
I think having it delayed a little while longer after it came out of development hell so it can be worked on properly instead of just stuck there. So it can be like stretched out, maybe even only 6 months or so to like take like an hour a week off them, if not that. Like,
because the fact is that the more you work, you're working as a for a horrible game company,
please don't follow that advice, because then you're going to get no money instead of
that's
even worse.
Like,
it's a lose-lose situation.
If you're able to do that and have the money to build your own game, then cool. Yeah, easier said than done is the key thing.
I do want to say though, fantastic example of that actually working out, as rare as it is. The Modern Hound twins, Cuphead. They Chad remortgaged his home.
And they put everything into
that. They put
that.
Absolutely everything into it, and it paid off. Yeah, it paid off super well because they loved their game.
And the thing is, we hear about that stuff, but a lot of the time we don't hear about all the times it doesn't pay off for people.
Yep, because
there's many people who have sacrificed their entire lives. They remortgage, they take out loans, and then they release the game, and because tons of games are releasing every fucking day, it just gets lost. And it might be really good. It might be an incredible game. We just don't know about it. Like,
the reason why we don't know about it is because it disappeared and that person has gone under. So we never hear about the bad cases because there's nothing there to hear about anymore.
Oh, fuck, I'm done with this Usher and shit. Let's go open my own thing. Yeah, kind of.
The issue is, like, if you're a writer who's been forced to work 100-hour weeks, then going off to make your own game, you're a writer. you can't make a game by writing, you can write a book, but
exactly.
even then you've specialised into game writing, which is entirely different from script, stage.
Yeah, and you can't go off definitely by yourself. You need to get a team behind you, and you need to convince other people probably to quit with you.
Yeah.
And then do that. And the fact is, a lot of people like that financial security. Even if it comes at the cost of their own
health.
Yeah, which is the biggest problem here, and people seem to be defending it as well. Some people are, and I think some people are specifically because it's Rockstar.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And they've got this attachment to it.
People defend Rockstar for so much shit, like the shark cards.
Yeah, and just how they defend Devil May Cry 5 for the microtransactions when it's like, yeah, but if this was EA and Ubisoft, then...
I mean, I will defend that, specifically because Devil May Cry 4 had that as well. But red orbs were so absurdly easy in that game to obtain that being able to buy them did absolutely fuck all. Yeah. It was level's worth.
The problem is here we have no idea if that'll change or anything.
I mean, I don't think it will, personally. But if it does...
I would hope not.
Yeah, if it does, then don't think for a moment I'll defend it.
Of course. Yeah.
But seeing the precedent that has been set, I know it's not an issue with the precedent.
I can understand that.
Yeah.
But just as a quick example of...
It's not amusing because they think it's a clever deconstruction. Like, hey, whales, they're the sort of person we're preying on with these, so it's funny. Like, no, it's not. That's just you being upfront about how much of a scumbag you are.
It's quite sad. Yeah. So then with this, some people defend it as like, no, but they're choosing to do this, and of course we just explained how they're like, yeah, they might not be forced, but they're socially pressured and all of this. Club Whistle made enough money to pay. That's really good, man. The thing is, you're one of the lucky ones.
Yeah.
Like, that's fantastic.
See Digital Homicide Games.
Yeah, literally good fucking job. Digital Homicide. They screwed themselves over.
They screwed themselves, but the point is they put a lot of money into asset flipping that, until Jim Sterling had covered it, was absolutely nothing. Like, it was a ton of money into stuff that wasn't going anywhere, wasn't getting sold at all. Then Jim Sterling came along and he helped them screw themselves, but before that they still weren't paying the rent with it or anything.
Yeah, basically.
So you are the lucky case, and also medium agnostic, not a thing.
Medium agnostic that you should be able to write for a game, then turn around and write for a book.
That's a talent.
I'm not sure I'd buy it, but
that's not anything to do with the mark of a good writer, because a good writer, someone like.
I see. I get what that means now. Yeah, as in you don't specialize in one medium or another. I see what you mean.
That's the mark of
very difficult.
It's a rounded and very talented writer. It's not necessarily a good writer. Yeah. Like the writer of American Psycho, I doubt he could turn around and write a game.
Yeah.
Whilst he wrote an amazing book. He's a good writer.
And I do think almost part of the problem with some games is that. And some writing in games is because they feel like they're really stuck in we're writing for a game, and they kind of corner themselves or box themselves in because of that, and they think that they can't write even close to how they would for a book or a film, so then I feel like the quality can sometimes decrease because of that. Yeah.
But then you have the opposite problem wherein some developers want to go too far away from a game and it makes a slog, like Metal Gear Solid 4. Hideo Kojima, he's an amazing game writer. He's also an amazing movie writer. But he tries to write amazing movies in amazing games. If Metal Gear Solid 4 was a movie, that would be one of the best movies of all time, I'll say that. Like,
pretty cool.
It has an amazing story, it just has too much of a movie in the game.
Yeah. Go to Twitch chat and you post down to a T. Yeah, you might.
Maybe down to a YT.
But this, it's a shitty situation, and the fact is that people defending it over passion. But they're really just passionate about what they're doing. You could be passionate about it.
Way forward with Yacht Company, Yacht Club.
You could be really passionate about whatever you're doing. But the fact is, it still comes at the cost of your mental and especially physical health, because you're just sitting there and doing it. And you might love what you're doing, and that's cool and all. But until these companies start saying to people, you need to get out of the office now, go home, then it's not going to change, and they need to change it, and it's a huge problem.
They don't want to change it though.
Because it's beneficial for them. Yeah, exactly. They are benefiting from basically the misery and like kind of competition between devs.
From breaking labour laws.
Yeah, essentially. It's so bad. What for protections? Like they do a small much devs working out from bad companies, starting their own bad company. Yeah. Basically, what Titanfall comes from, and for sure it happens, but they're not all going to be success stories like Titanfall. And you're not necessarily going to find a company that lets you be as free as you want, you know?
I was saying Yacht Club did that with WayForward, but forget that. WayForward was a great company as well.
I'm going to say, yeah.
Better example,
walk out of that, yeah.
The people who walked out of Frontier Games when it got taken over by EA and shit, the Roller Coaster Tycoon guys, walked out, made Planet Coaster.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah,
they'd successfully made a better competitor to the thing that they originally Roller Coaster Worlds.
And that stuff can happen, but it's very unlikely, and it's such a huge risk to take. These people have got families, they got kids to take care of and shit. Do you realise how terrifying that is?
Maybe they moved to that company, moved house to get closer.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're like, you don't have a family, you don't have a wife or whatever, and kids, or you don't have a husband and kids, then for sure that's potential. Then that makes it easier, and yeah, it takes bravery, and it also takes a lot of luck and a lot of skill. But just being brave isn't gonna get you a multi-million-dollar game.
I'm not sure if Ed is shit posting or trying to give me an instant
while
aneurysm.
they were making Oblivion, some guys fucked up.
I think it's a shit.
Ed's
I
fun.
hope
No,
it's a shit.
He's funny. Beat Oblivion. Fuck you, Oblivion. Skyrim's way better. Oh dear. Yeah, it's a shit situation, and it's not going to change until they start saying go home, or that like a dev comes into work like hey, you've already worked 70 hours this week, you're not allowed into the office, go home, be with your family, please.
Go home, be a family man.
Or be just by yourself and chill. It's bad to rely on your work as the only thing in your life, because it's also just very sad, and it's cool if you're passionate about it, but the fact is it's going to be detrimental to your health.
Too much of a good thing.
Yeah, mentally, physically. And this happens with YouTubers as well. Joseph Anderson was talking about how he has a lot of crunch time that he puts on himself for finishing videos and stuff, like the fucking 3-hour critiques that he makes. And he's never doing it again. He did it for his last God of War video, and that was so bad and so horrible for him. Just such a huge lack of sleep. He would wake up, work on this video all day, go to sleep, and that will be it basically.
Yeah.
And this guy's got a family as well, and that's him, he's his own boss, and that shows how you don't need to be forced or even pressured all that much into it. You can just do it to yourself,
and it's still incredibly harmful.
Yeah, and if you don't have anybody, especially higher up, being like, you're not allowed, then that's gonna happen.
Yeah. And
yeah, it's a big problem in the industry, and it needs to change, and I'm really happy that it's getting talked about more. But it's also hilarious, as you were saying, about letting the employees speak out and stuff. As soon as I saw that, I was like, that's not going to mean anything, because who the fuck is going to want to be named and speak out negatively against Rockstar?
Yeah.
Do they want to ensure that they're fired?
Oh.
It's for the exact same reason that they're working 100-hour work weeks.
They were the social media ban was lifted so they could defend Rockstar. That's why it was lifted.
Yeah,
it wasn't lifted so they could give their actual opinion. Yeah,
because there's no way. That's why on company websites, review websites, all of the stuff is anonymous, because nobody wants to be seen as they're telling the truth and all this shit.
Yeah.
But you know what people will do? They'll suck Rockstar's dick, because that might get them a promotion. If you come out and say, "Oh no, they're an amazing company to work for. I'm so passionate about it. Whatever, they treat me amazingly well," then they might see that and be like, "Well, hey, you want a raise?"
Yeah.
That's just how things are. And yeah, I love how much attention it's getting though.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. On a more positive note though, about Red Dead 2.
Some kid is dying.
Don't say that. Fuck's sake.
You brought up the more positive note. That's exactly what this situation is.
Yeah.
It's not a positive note at all.
But it's a happy story.
It's not even. It's not a happy story at all. It's nice of Rockstar, but it's not happy.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
It's
There's nothing happy or good about
this.
this.
It's a little bit of a feel-good story. No, in terms of like if I was like a fan of something or whatever, like a fan of Red Dead already or something. So the story is that there was a kid who was like terminally ill. And Rockstar let him play Red Dead 2 early as like dying wish sort of thing.
Yeah.
And that's lovely and that's really nice because he wouldn't have been able. Stop it! He wouldn't have been able to otherwise.
No, he would have been able to. He would have been able to play the game if he wasn't dying.
Yeah, I know, but
it's not.
Which is why it's really
not
nice
a good
that
story.
they let him.
Yeah, it's nice. It's not
it's great.
happy. It's not good. It's not lovely.
But it's a little
nice
bit like
of them.
Aw, good for him. He might.
Good for him. He's dying.
No, not that.
There's no good way to phrase this. I'm sorry. It's good for him in that he can play it, and I get that, and it's nice of them, but it's not a good story, and it's not a happy story.
Well, as soon as I see that headline, I'm like, oh. That's my reaction. I'm like, oh, that's really sweet. Cool. That's about it. I tried to not think about how he's gonna die after that. I tried to think about he got to play. That's
the
fucking
reason
awesome.
why he got to play that.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Let's ignore that.
Let's ignore that bit. He's talking with a controller in his hands.
This shit got so dark.
He had a heart attack when the game asked him to buy a skin loot box to get animal skins.
Oh, I really hope he's still alive. I don't want to be no.
He had a heart attack when he was playing the beta for the online, and someone called him cunt.
Oh.
The only people who had access to the online beta were the staff.
Stop it. Stop it. You know they wouldn't have been allowed access to online. I bet even if he asked, they would be like, whoa. That's going a little
that's
too
coming
far.
like
It's
a
not
few
ready.
months after launch.
Yeah, exactly. Going a little too far there. We don't want you to leak anything. Oh, dear.
Speaking of really heavy,
nice.
big things about Red Dead Redemption 2.
It's a really fucking big game, yeah.
It's like 105 megabyte. It's 105
Holy
megabytes. Holy
shit.
shit! My dial-up can't handle it.
Can't fit that onto my SD card.
Onto my floppy disk.
My floppy disk can't handle Red Dead 2 shit.
I'm gonna have to spread this over 5.
So you're gonna need 5 floppy disks for Red Dead Redemption 2.
At least 5
At
floppy
least
disks.
5. Guys,
it's 5. It's 105 megabytes.
guys, this is so sad. Can we get
5
at least
floppy
5
disks.
floppy disks for Red Dead 2? Oh, but no, it's 105 gigs, guys. It's really big. It's like you thought Spider-Man was big. Spider-Man's like 50 gigs.
The games are big and they keep getting bigger.
Oh yeah, so really fucking huge game, and there's a thing, at least a rumor. I don't think there's no huge confirmation on it yet.
Yep.
It was a translation from a Japanese thing that it might be on 2 discs, which I would honestly prefer than giving 1 disc that's 50 gigs and saying, hey, have fun downloading the other 50. Like, that would be fucking awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, translated to Red Dead Redemption disc set is confirmed. PS4 version of the dummy jacket turns out, because that's Twitter translations for you.
Yep. You can see 2 disc symbols there.
Yeah. I'll show you guys right here. I'll show you like even the tiny icon that you can see. Oh wow, yeah, tiny.
It's so small.
It's so small. It's just black. Can't even fucking see. There it is.
Yeah, so you can see.
You guys see it there? Yeah. It's not a warning about there being boobs in the game.
The way you were positioning the mouse, it looked like a dick, though.
I'm just seeing if we can have them be your eyes. No, that was good. Just one. This is great. This is stupid. Bravo. So two discs, two eyeballs, because it's that fucking big. That's good. Yeah, no, I don't think it's one for... I think this is all for campaign, literally. Yep. Yeah,
and halfway through, Otacom's going to call you and say, Snake, you need to switch the discs.
Yeah, right. That's what I was legitimately thinking at first. And like,
there was actually a joke about that Metal Gear Solid 4 where they were like, no, what are you talking about? This one's on Blu-ray. And he was like, oh yeah, the power of Blu-ray. Now we're back to it.
This is on the Blu-ray. Wow, the power of Blu-ray on the PlayStation 4.
I can't believe Metal Gear Solid is still predicting the future. Fucking hell. That's ridiculous.
But the thing is with that, even though it was the power of the Blu-ray, it still installed it in chunks over the course of the game, which felt way longer than just switching out a fucking
I'm
disc.
going to be honest, I like that because like having the breaks between that, having just the loading screen to where I was smoking, like let me know, okay, I've been playing a bit too long, time to go off.
Because the cutscenes weren't long enough, were they?
Well, you don't stop and pause, stop paying attention during the cutscenes. You have to be like, okay, I've got my notes, I'm writing down my notes.
So yeah, Blu-ray discs, I guess, are still just not big enough for today's biggest fucking games.
Yeah.
They were big enough for stuff like Spider-Man.
Oh.
Your dick as well, I'm sure, can fit on one.
Yeah.
A long
fit in
one. Let's say that's not nice. It managed to fit Spider-Man on it perfectly fine. There was still quite a big download. I'm sure it was maybe an 8 gig download or something.
Gosh.
They need a green ray. I mean, that's basically because they have, I think, bigger ones for 4K HD.
Everybody loves Ray.
What colour is bigger than blue? Black.
Always wet.
Black, grey.
No, red, because red is the longest colour on the spectrum, isn't it?
Hey, red ray.
Red Ray.
And
Red Dead Redemption.
Oh my god.
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Could you imagine if they brought it out on something called Red Ray with new technology? Here, boys, we needed this for a Red Dead.
That's why they were crunching it.
Of course.
They were developing Red Ray technology.
100-hour work weeks for that Red Ray. Jesus Christ. So that's big. Unlike his dick. Let's go.
Another Format War HD DVD.
Yeah.
What about them laser discs, fam, which were actually far ahead of their time, but generally
But also
quite
they were
difficult
fucking huge as well.
But they were super ahead of their time.
Oh, for sure.
They were a much better format, just unwieldy.
Yeah, unwieldy.
Because, you often wanted to use one as a shield going into battle.
Anyway, speaking of PlayStation as well.
Boy, they fucked up by not accounting for a random string of characters.
How dare they?
How dare they?
Well, I think wasn't it mainly the love heart? Wasn't it mainly the love heart emoji?
Was it love heart?
I think it was primarily the love heart emoji, which is kind of a fuck up, really.
That's hilarious, though. The fact that that's the one that did
it.
Okay.
Only thing bad would have been the eggplant emoji.
Especially
fucking your system, literally.
Especially in Rainbow Six Siege, amongst people who got upset with losing in Siege towards their opponents. There's been a controversy recently surrounding PlayStation messaging, in which if someone sent you a certain character, which we believe now to be the love heart emoji, it would instantly crash and brick your PS4.
Yeah.
Because it could not recognise this character.
It was quite bad.
There was one solution. It was a very reliable solution.
Yeah.
Well, there was a solution and a preventative. The preventative is which I recommended to a friend and which I've gotten right now.
I got it immediately.
Simply set your messages to friends only.
Yeah. If you trust your friends. If you don't trust your friends in private.
Yeah. The solution, just go onto the PSN messaging app on your phone, delete it there.
Because that can handle it, apparently. It won't break your phone.
Because it's a phone, yeah.
So it knows all the emojis, but PlayStation just they're too busy with their God of War emojis.
Yeah.
With their weird
which
faces.
I send you.
It's the best. It's not the new God of War. It's
the old ones.
It's the old ones. And
they're just
their emotes make Kratos look like the dumbest fucking piece of shit. It's wonderful.
My favourite emote still uses the Ellie.
Yeah, it's adorable. God. No, you don't have
it's smug.
It's smug.
It's great. You can just send that to people who get upset at you online, which I did. When At one point, I was playing with a friend on PSN, and he put us both into a chat with people he was upset about and swore at them, and we both got warned. So from now on, whenever someone gets upset at me online on PSN, all I do is send that emoji to them. Just
Oh dear, I love that. That Naughty Dog have just so many adorable ones. They've got adorable tile sets. It's great. So that was the mess. It's sorted now. It's fixed. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But it's just hilarious. That was the thing, and that was Love Heart as well. Like, I love you. Oh fuck you.
speaking of PlayStation, though. Siege.
For you anyway.
Very small Siege corner.
Yeah. My favorite PlayStation only game. I know you play on PlayStation.
So the very small Siege corner for this week is just that there's a petition going around currently, set up by a pro player, to remove one of the operators from the game, which is getting traction because this operator is the most hated operator in the game.
Well done. That's quite serious.
It's one I've complained about before. It's one that'll be no surprise.
Is it the lady with the shield?
No. It's the guy
She
who
was
makes
bad, wasn't
everyone
she?
stand still for 5 seconds on the defender's team.
that fucker. Yeah.
Yeah. He
really hates this.
It's the least fun character in any game, wherein standing still in this game can just easily get you killed if the enemy knows where you are, and him...
In any game as well. Oof.
Prick with the statue thing. I could not tell you what he's talking about.
Rainbow Six Siege, Ed. That's the game we're talking about, buddy. You okay? Do you need to go get a glass of water?
So...
Continue.
Nope, that's the entire story. There's a petition to remove one of the operators and it's getting traction because this operator is genuinely garbage.
Do you think they will follow through?
No.
Do you think they do that?
But they're looking at reworking it.
I was about to say, but I don't think they'd remove it, but I think they'd probably see that sort of backlash and be like, oh, well, shit, we need to do something about it.
There's a few operators that are looking at rework right now, including Tachanka, the guy with the light machine gun, the mounted one. Frost, the woman with the hunting bear trap mats, that if you stand in it you instantly get downed. Castle, the reinforced barricades.
Yeah, even
and Lion.
My dad.
The operator that freezes people. That's not a thing. That's not a thing.
I think by free he meant like...
No, because he's saying statue thing.
No, you know when you freeze people, they're frozen. You know, statues are frozen because they're statues. That's what he meant. Turns them into statues. So you actually can't kill. Wouldn't that be an interesting? Turns them into statues, so they're stone, so you actually can't kill them because it stinks off.
Okay. So moving on to the other game that I play corner that we've had.
Game that I play corner.
Hearthstone. Game that I play corner. Corn. Game that I play corn.
I do love corn.
Hearthstone. There's been a few nerfs in Hearthstone recently. First up is Mana 1. Classic card. Very sort of mage.
My boy.
Mage icon.
Pigeon would land on their shoulder. Okay. That would be amazing though, to be fair. I like this idea.
Mage icon card. Nerfed by giving it 1 more mana. That's fair enough. Aviana. 9 mana, 5/5, reduce the cost of your minions to 1 whilst it's out on the field. That's been nerfed to 10 mana.
Okay.
So now you cannot do the combo of Aviana and Kun, who, when you summoned him, would refresh your mana crystals.
Okay, good.
So it was
How's that spelled?
Kun.
Cool.
Yeah. So it was effectively...
So good thing to note for non-Hearthstone players. It's not that sort of game.
It was 10 mana, summon a 5/5 and a 7/7 and gain all your mana crystals back, and now all your minions in your hand cost 1 each.
Oh, yeah.
So you can still do it, you just have to have a coin or an innovate.
Yeah, which is quite...
It went from a 2-card combo to a 3-card combo.
Yeah.
There's also the Giggling Inventor, Scourge of the metagame.
Wait, how do you still really like it if you forget about it?
I mean, I like Popstar Never Stop Stopping, but I always forget about it because it's the world's most forgettable film.
But especially for an ongoing game, you don't know if you need to go back and see if you still really like it. Like, I'd need to do that.
Giggling Inventor was a 5 mana 2/1 Battlecry summon 2 Annoyotrons. 1 mana 1/2. No, 2 mana 1/2 Taunt Divine Shield.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, from the Goblins Forces now.
That's quite bad.
So this got nerfed to 7 mana instead of 5 mana.
Okay. That's
which means it's completely dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But it's okay. Everyone hated it.
That's all right. Yeah, it's funny to see outrage of some cards when that happens to them, and then others, everybody's just like, yeah, about time.
No one's ever
Bye-bye.
going to be happy with anything Blizzard does.
No. Especially Blizzard.
Yeah. And that's it. That's all for Hearthstone.
That's him over my shoulder telling me what to do. Oh, but I'll be there. I mean, I wouldn't be able to.
I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour.
And then the other big game, so guys, I've been really, can you guys guess what it is?
You've been super into a new game recently, yeah.
I've been very busy and stuff, and with this this new setup and stuff that I've been trying to
Map.
work. Can you guys guess what it is?
It's Map, everyone. I hope you've all been looking forward to the Map segment, where we discuss cartography and our views on the Euclidean model.
I don't even know what that is.
Neither do I. I just made it up.
I'm in a 2.6. Welcome, Fallen Star. I don't know why I said that when he's in an ad. You won't hear it. Go on. So I've not been playing much, unfortunately. Yep. I'm gonna try and get back to obviously playing video games. That'd be nice, and then also making videos. Now that things have started to settle down a bit. Yeah.
I'll try and be as quick as possible.
But you've been spending plenty of time on video games.
I have about 26 hours in Maple Story 2 as of yet. It came out a week ago.
Yeah. And how much have you put in?
26 hours.
That's pretty good. It's going to end up being 100 hours a week.
Yeah.
And you're not even getting paid.
So I'll try and be as quick as possible.
So why is it so fucking good, apparently? You're saying it's everything that you wanted in an MMO.
Can I just finish this one line?
Cool.
I'll try and be as quick as possible so we can spend the bulk of the remaining time on the movie segment.
I'm fine. I don't need you to rush past
this.
I'm quite
so we
interested.
can spend the rest of the time on Inglourious Basterds.
But I'm interested in...
I'll talk about it.
Because I've been fascinated, because I just come online and you're on Maple Story 2, and I'm like, the fuck is, like...
So,
it was pretty good.
The original Maple Story 1 was a game for essentially special snowflake teenage girls. It had a 2D art style with sort of pixel art, but really exaggerated sort of huge eyes, sparkly eyes, sort of massive heads.
It was very like chibi, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's super chibi. Maple Story 2 also follows that, but it has the sort of benefit of being in 3D, so it's more cute than horrific. So yeah, if we take a look at it now, you can see this is an actually cutesy art style, a tolerable one.
It looks cartoon. Yeah, it's still like 3D cheap. It reminds me of World of the Final Fantasy.
Yes, the World of the Final Fantasy.
The Final Fantasy.
The Final Fantasy.
Because you know about that character, right? In that game, it just keeps putting the in every other. So silly. So, yeah, it reminds me of that, and like that, and Dragon Quest Builders.
Sort of, yeah.
Word about communities of flame spreads.
God damn.
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm glad that's
for now. I read that. Yeah, it says there, hosting us. Thank you very much for hosting us.
Thanks, buddy. Oh my god. Yeah, I need to sort out those alert things, but thank you very much.
So Maple Story 2 has a few draws.
Okay.
First of all is a feature that I very much enjoy, which is even if you don't spend any money on the game, you get instruments and music sheets. And if you know how to write in Maple Story 2's specific MIDI language, which is not regular MIDI, which is bizarre, but I spent a while back learning about MIDI, being able to write in it.
As you do.
Just for fun.
As you do.
Just a side project thing.
It's the sort of thing you do, yeah. I can believe that.
So yeah, you can sort of play whatever songs you want. I spend a lot of time playing Men at Work songs for no reason. No one will recognise them because it doesn't seem like the sort of game that someone who listens to Men at Work would play.
No, definitely not.
Nope.
This character as well reminds me a lot of something else, but I can't remember what. But yeah, it looks like a lot of art styles that I've seen.
So,
but in a good way, it looks pretty well done, especially for a free-to-play game. Like,
You know, it's a ton of fun. Like the paid aspects are sort of much smaller.
And you know, there's beach episodes.
I mean,
The beach episodes.
that's one of the strange things, is that there's a strangely large intentional sex appeal. In that one of the mascots...
I wouldn't go far as to say appeal.
Two of the mascots are bunny girls.
Wouldn't go so far as to say appeal.
One of them has huge titties.
I'm not so sure in the style that appeals to me, but
No,
go
it's
ahead.
one of the things they're putting out there as part of the draw, though,
for
which
sure.
is... It's a strange choice,
I like
but...
the look of this enemy as well. I think that.
Yeah,
that
no,
looks
like,
pretty
a
cool.
lot of the enemies are really well designed. The dungeons are actually genuinely challenging later on. Like, it's one of those MMOs where there's sort of... It looks like it's geared towards sort of teenage girls, preteen girls, but then you play it and you're like, oh shit, they could not play this. This is not a game that in the later stages they would be able to play.
It's a big change as well, going from 2D to 3D. That's like
Yeah.
huge. It's basically just a different game.
It went
It was quite cool.
from...
Oh, this is
Yeah.
adorable. Originally downloaded this for my child. Now I'm playing alongside her while we progress together. Great content for a free-to-play game with no paywall. Recommend to anyone who wants to join a fun top-down MMO. That's so cute. Wow, 173 hours.
Yeah.
People look mad.
People have been
Mad
putting a
mans.
ton into this. Like, it's really fantastic.
Those are my favourite. The ones that are not recommended. Called me surprised, but I would not think I would enjoy them. It's actually really fun.
The issue... No, I 100% agree with the non-recommendation on that particular one, because that's saying... So, you have a limited number of dungeons you can do per day and per week. You can do 10 per day and 30 per week on one character. It encourages alt spam, which is not a feature that people like.
All spam.
Making alternate characters on the same account to run through dungeons.
I see. Yeah. It's all good.
But the issue is as well, like, epic level items are incredibly rare. So having 30 dungeons per week to get a chance at these epic level end game loot items to get your item score up, it's not high at all. It's incredibly low, especially with how many you're limited to.
Sorry if you guys can't read that, by the way. I don't know if you guys could. That's probably a bit better.
Yeah, so this person is complaining about the lack of ability to run multiple dungeons because... Oh yeah, no, they're complaining about the scaling as well. High level scale characters
Yeah,
get scaled back way too far.
and it did just come out, so there's plenty of time for them to change stuff like that.
It's been out for a week.
But I mean, clearly they're doing something right. With 75% positive reviews is pretty good for
A launch week MMO.
Yeah, and a free, so a lot of people can get on it and give their opinions and stuff and shit talk it and all of that.
In the first week, it's hit all. I believe that's.
million players.
I believe that's like 300,000 less than WoW has right now.
It's crazy.
So yeah, they've
man.
just been giving away a ton of shit for free.
Just because they're just so happy about it. Nice, man.
Yeah.
Going to Asda. See you, Ed.
So yeah.
Enjoy Asda. You weirdo.
So yeah, like the paid stuff is mainly cosmetics. You can buy new character slots, new inventory slots, and new bank slots as well. But that's it takes a sideline. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not, you're not paying to win. If you do have the paid club, then you do unlock access to a dungeon, which is incredibly easy to clear. You get to play it once per day, and if you do well in it, you get up to like 200,000 of the regular currency.
Cool.
I get about 250,000 of the regular currency per day.
So what's the main draw of it for you? Why is it so good?
The main draw of it for me is the mechanics of it. There are three mechanics of it. There's the farming aspect, so the farming, foraging, mining aspects.
Is it
where
like Harvest Moon farming?
no,
That sort of thing? Okay.
it's every day you get to like.
I mean
Okay,
like farming enemies, like that sort of.
no.
Okay.
So to explain
So
it,
it's
I'll have to go
farming.
back to a different mechanic, which is the house mechanic.
Okay.
You get a house.
Everybody gets a house.
Everyone gets a house.
It's cool.
They have an in-universe explanation for it as well, which is under the sort of like lost adventurer policy. They want to make sure all adventurers have a house, so they're not sort of just wandering from place to place and
That's
not having
kinda
a place to
cute.
set
That's
down.
cute.
It's really cute.
I like it.
So in this house you can expand it.
Yeah.
It starts off as like 4x4 or 6 or 3x3.
Like kind of
no.
Animal Crossing.
No, because it's isometric.
Yeah, but you know what? In terms of like the
yeah.
way the house
Yes.
works, and you can put things in it. and
But
all
you can
that.
expand it for free. And
No
it goes up to
Tom
about
Nook in this fucker.
it goes up to about 15 by 15,
Wow, that's
which is huge.
Mm.
And you can raise the height of it as well
oh cool.
to a really super high height, so you can have this ridiculously complex house.
That's fun.
90% of the furniture is free. The furniture that isn't free is still just cosmetic furniture.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
of all the things to pay for, that's
Yeah.
not very egregious.
You get free XP for just placing down a certain amount of blocks every day. You get the farming items which you can put down in your house for free, and then if you walk up to these farming items, then you gather materials which you can then use to craft into shit for very small amounts of money, like 10 gold and a chicken feather, to make a pouch which raises your farming gain by 100% for 5 minutes, something like that.
As you do.
Yeah.
Making pouch out of a chicken feather.
But-
a single feather.
It's like 5 or 10 or whatever. But
It's a
the
really
higher
weird thing to make a pouch out
the
of.
higher you get, like the more stuff you harvest, the higher you get your harvesting skill for that particular thing. So it's either farming for plants or ranching for animals. And the higher you get your skill, the more ranks you get, which gives you like access to cosmetics and stuff that you wouldn't have otherwise.
So there's a lot of different like systems of leveling up and stuff. That
Yeah.
you kind of expect for progression and all that.
Yeah.
So how's that not like Harvest Moon? I mean, obviously the
Because you don't-
leveling up and stuff is
You don't wait for it. You
Oh,
put the
okay.
thing down and you can just instantly start farming for it. And the
Okay.
odds get smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller until it's impossible to get any more for that day.
Okay.
Um,
I see.
you can only put animals and sort of regularly farmed.
Can you pay to extend that time?
No.
Oh, wow, that's quite surprising. Because you'd think that'd be something that they would monetize, something like that.
They only paywall the sort of doesn't actually affect your experience stuff. Like there are no
Quite
paywall
surprising.
dungeons.
Especially for like
All dungeons
timers
are free.
and stuff. Yeah. We said, so that you can only go into a limited amount of dungeons per day.
Yes,
Can
you
you
have
pay
10
to
dungeons per day.
increase
Nope.
that? That's weird.
Again,
'Cause of all
not
things, you
stuff that
would
doesn't
re-
affect your
You
experience.
would really expect it. And the thing is, I wouldn't necessarily complain too much about that, but I'm just really surprised that they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. And the final draw is the combat
I was
itself.
gonna say, how's
where
the combat?
if
Yeah.
if you play a healer,
Mhm.
then it's not
Which
like
you do.
yeah.
I see.
If you're in a party,
Mhm.
I mean, if you're not in a party and say a world boss spawns, there'll be a bunch of players who come to it, and you'll have like AOE healing spells that heal everyone,
Mhm.
not just people in your party. So you can just
Okay.
be someone
The
who
healer.
helps other people.
Yeah, everybody around. That's cool.
And priests, they're the only healer. They're super rare because obviously everyone wants to play the high damage classes, which
Yeah.
I was amazed when I made a heavy gunner who has like a big machine gun and rocket launchers and shit.
As you do.
It's fun.
Th-
Their
Oh, yeah, I can
damage...
see a gun in one of the
Yep,
things.
that's a heavy gunner there.
That's fun.
Their damage is like 3 times the priest. Like, I was genuinely amazed that, like, holy shit, I'm killing stuff so much quicker.
You can see him on the left there, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The left
That's
is the
cool.
heavy gunner and the right is a berserker.
Yeah. Is the middle the priest? Is that a priest? What is
Looks
that?
like a priest. Yep.
Let's say
The
angel
little
stuff
pig flying above them is
That's cute.
that's
with the halo.
that's a buff. It gives
That's
them
great.
increased spell damage
That's cool.
and access to more buffs when they have that.
See, I
on.
mean, it's just kind of clearly good design if I can just kind of tell which is which just from looking at them.
Yep.
That's the sort of thing you want. You want visual
If you
clarity.
go through the screenshots, you can pretty much very easily tell which class is which. Like, that's the priest again.
And is that a mage or a spellcaster or something?
That's a priest.
Oh, that's a
The-
priest.
the-
Oh, okay.
Because it's
yeah,
like
you can see
the
the wings
pink
and
and
stuff.
yellow aura type
Mm.
thing is a very priestly thing.
Is that a mage? In fact, I can see a staff.
I believe that's a major.
Yeah.
And next to them you have another berserker.
Yeah,
You can tell because of the
it's
spikes and stuff.
Yeah, and the red and all that.
That's just
So-
sword and shield. So
yeah,
that'll
it
be
looks like a
your
general,
knight class.
like, warrior,
Yeah.
knight. Yeah.
That's your general
Cute.
knight class.
Cute.
That's just fishing. Fishing is another
What class
thing.
is she?
Yes.
The waifu class. That looks cool, man. And so you can build this. Is
No.
this that's built?
That's environment. That's
Okay.
that's a dev made thing, isn't it? Right? Yes, it is. That's what we were saying earlier. It's incredibly
it's a
different art
huge
style.
change. Huge change.
One I very much appreciate.
Yeah, exactly. Because it looked to me anyway, in a lot of like screenshots and stuff of the old one that like it was really crowded. Like there's a lot of mess because there's like they're trying to put so much on the screen and you only have a 2D plane to do it.
Yeah.
So
On the 5th minute
Mhm.
and 35th minute of every hour in MapleStory, events happen.
okay.
And these events are little mini games that the game has that vary from a true or false quiz with 10 questions to a short platforming challenge to a vertical
Ooh.
platforming challenge to
Does it control well then? Does it control well enough for these platform
the jumping
challenges?
is garbage.
Ah.
The jumping has a delay, but that's only an issue for the vertical one, which is a ton of jumping, so no one chooses that.
Okay.
The platforming running one has enough gaps between the jumping that the delay resets, so it's completely fine.
Okay, that's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Um,
Hopefully they can tighten that up over time.
yeah, it just released.
Yeah, and
Just
I
released.
feel like that's. I mean, jumping in almost every MMO seems to just suck.
Yeah.
Seems like they can't nail down vertical movement. Go on.
So these events, it's not just you. It is up to like 50 people will join in on these events. So you'll be having a race with like 50 people, or you'll be in a quiz with 50
So
people.
it's like a little like Mario Party sort of thing.
It is like
Right,
one of them
yeah.
is a dancing thing where it's sort of a dancing break where you go to a spotlight and you dance and you get free experience for that. And
I see.
then these tiles on the floor light up with a number,
Mm-hmm.
and a certain number of people have to go to these tiles. And if there's any more or any less, when the music stops, everyone on that tile falls and loses and drops out of the game.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And you can sabotage this by like when there's that number of people on the tile, you can press F to defend it, which puts up a ring around to stop anyone from going in or out.
Mm-hmm.
But people can take this down and leave at the last moment, which is a dickhead move.
Fun though. It's cool that you can do it.
It's super fun.
That's great.
But
I like this idea. Yeah.
the quiz is great because it's like stupid random questions. Like there was one guy called Jesus in the last quiz that I was in, and he was like, "God has all the answers, my sons."
That's great.
He got to round 9 with me,
Yes.
9 out of 10, and then the last question was true or false. Back wrote the Messiah, and I kept saying no. It's Handel's Messiah chorus. You need to come over to the false side, and he just stayed on the true side, and he got dropped out, and I was like, looks like God has failed me.
That's hilarious. And I was waiting to hear like what kind of questions they were going to be as well, if they were going to be related
Yeah.
to the game or just their general like trivia
There
stuff.
are some related to the game ones that like
That's cool.
true or false Ophelia is the name of the character who enchants your weapons and armor.
That's cool.
But then they've got like true or false lotion is good for preventing static electricity, which is true because it's an insulator.
Well done.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I lost the first time.
Right, yeah.
And there's like true or false
Weird.
chickens can be left or right footed.
Is that true?
Yeah, I knew that one.
I could see that. I
Yeah.
could see that being a thing.
and I was like, I pride myself on my chicken knowledge when 75% of people went out on that question. And if you win one of these events, you get a little event coin which you can put into a roulette wheel, which can give you cosmetics or items or
That's
stuff.
fun.
Yeah.
That's a fun little thing.
Every
Oh, they're loot boxes.
there's style crates which give cosmetics.
Hey.
That's it.
Always name something. The thing is, though, it's a free-to-play game. Like, I'm not inherently against loot boxes, depending on what they are, how they're presented, what they give you, and also if they're in like a $60 game or not. Like, if it's a AAA full-price game.
There are good and bad of that
Yeah.
though.
Mm-hmm.
Rainbow Six, Overwatch,
Yeah.
fantastic implementation, awful implementation.
Yeah,
Like
pretty much.
Rainbow Six is you cannot buy them with real money.
Yeah, no, and I can't, like,
Yeah.
I'm not about to say, hey, don't be.
The Rainbow Six ones, you
Something.
cannot buy them with real money.
See, yeah, that's also a key thing.
Yeah.
If you can't buy them with real money, then, like, whatever. You
Yeah.
know, that's been in games for fucking ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a chance to win one every time you play the game. Every time you win a match, your chance, you spin a wheel, and if it lands on the like little percentage, then you get it. If not, your chance goes up until you've got like 100%, in which case it'll just spin and you've instantly got a pack.
Yeah.
And they contain cosmetics from all seasons. So
That's
there's
cool.
no lock.
Yeah, there's no like lock behind and get them before they're gone.
Yeah, like even
Fucking Overwatch.
like the previous seasons, like Red Crow was one of the old season names.
Mm-hmm.
The other day I got a headgear from Red Crow.
Yeah.
So even though you can't buy those cosmetics anymore, you can still get them in the loot packs.
Yeah. Which is
Overwatch, you can only buy them with real money. They're incredibly predatory and always show a gold legendary.
You can't only buy them with real money.
Yes, you can. You can earn them through leveling up, but you cannot buy them with the coins. You can buy the siege ones with the in-game currency that you want.
But you can directly buy cosmetics with the coins, but it takes forever, doesn't it?
Yes.
And they have increased the ways that you can get them without real money, which is nice.
No, they haven't.
No, wasn't there like a game mode or whatever where it's like you?
Oh yeah,
you win
the
three of
arcade.
these. Yeah, the arcade.
3 a week.
Yeah, which like could be better.
If you're a dedicated
obviously.
siege player, you can get 5 a day.
Yeah, exactly.
So-
Like, no, there's definitely a better system. I like that they've put more of that in, but for sure, a lot of it's still pushing you towards buy.
And there's seasonal ones only, which the cosmetics in them have clearly more effort in them, which is painful.
Even that's debatable, but still also like it's a special event. A lot of people are going to want the special thing from the special event because they can't get it any other time, and that exclusivity is going to drive people to buy it.
And they have an incredibly predatory experience where they'll always show like a gold shine when they come out, which is the legendary colour, obviously. So they always trick you. Whereas when you're opening a siege pack, you can tear the edge a little bit, and it'll show either a white glow, a blue glow, a purple glow, or a gold glow immediately. You'll never have any questions about what rarity you have.
Yeah.
And it's only got one thing in it, so it's not like a bulk chance, like, oh, any of the 4 could be it. Oh, here we go. You could get some irrelevant spray voice line icon that no one wants. It'll always be a gun skin that you can use in-game, or a charm, or a headgear, or a body.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Niall's argument is RNG rewards, whether in-game rewards or paid content are sucky. You either pay either time or money to not even get the rewards you want, and that's just sucky. I can understand that.
I can understand it. I disagree with it with Rainbow Six because...
Yeah, no, like, for sure, would I rather just get the thing that I want? Yeah, probably. But that's another way that they make you... that they kind of get you to play more is like, hey, you were not going to just give it all away right now, and that kind of builds the anticipation or whatever, and then when you finally get it, you feel so good and all that. And you can argue about that being, still like a little manipulative, but I think if they're not trying to draw straight money out of you, then it's definitely a damn sight better.
I think the focus of the game plays a big part as well. With something like Siege, it's such a tactical focused, gaudy giant character design thing, whereas Overwatch everything's big and bright and colourful,
and
the costumes look different. So
definitely,
the focus of the game plays a huge part.
That's a huge difference. Yeah, actually one of the few things that I have played a little bit of was Forza Horizon 4, which also props to them for making great fucking PC port, running at 4K on my set. Like, obviously I know I've got a really good PC, but
it's not always a 4K.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. A lot of games do not run well in 4K, and for something that looks as great as Forza Horizon 4 does, to run in 4K 60 FPS is fucking amazing. Props them for that. Also, they have kind of a similar thing of their, I forget, like wheel spins or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't believe you can get those with real money, but you just kind of have those throughout the game. And like, I got a really good car on one of them, and that was cool and all that. And I didn't feel like, oh, maybe if I paid a bit more or anything. But it was just like, if you spend more time in this game, then you'll get more wheel spins or whatever, and that's fine.
And with Siege, I will say that I've now put probably about £75 into supporting the sort
that's just what you
paid
want to do.
currency anyway.
That's
Yeah.
what you want to do because you've got a lot of out of the game.
Yeah, the elite skins, like the ones that have special animations, special stuff, you do pay for them. They're not in the loot boxes.
Yeah.
But they don't affect the game at all, and all they do is sort of make you look slightly different,
Mm-hmm.
and they give you a nice animation only if you're the MVP of the game, only if you have the most points in the game.
Yeah.
Then they'll give you, like, say your Thermite, you know, he has like fire on his hands and he claps them together to make a flame cloud. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
Yeah.
But Maple Story is pretty good.
Maple Story 2 is pretty good. It's relevant.
And yeah, and it doesn't have a lot of that bullshit. And that's awesome. Oh yeah, so Glorious Bastards.
Inglorious Bastards.
Inglorious
Inglorious
Bastards. Which it is a clever way to get past the
Sure.
because we can all say Inglorious Bastards.
It's like that time we put Pom Hub.
Yeah. Like I was surprised that they even let them get away with that because it is so close and
Yeah.
the way you say it's the same
It's
way.
exactly the same.
But yeah, it's great. Yeah, I enjoyed this movie. Finally, watching the whole thing, and as we were talking about the first scene, like just seeing that again, the tension
Yep.
is so
Christoph
fucking
Waltz, amazing actor, forever. Absolutely amazing. And it's one of those. It has a Tarantino ending, which is to say, everything fucks up in the last 15 minutes. Everything just goes shit up. Fucking everyone's dying.
Yeah,
explosions,
yeah.
like just fire, people melting.
It's
like
great.
it's a very Tarantino thing. Like Hateful Eight has it, where just in the last 15 minutes.
Spoilers for Hateful Eight.
Spoilers for Hateful Eight, which is one of my favourite movies of all
Skip
time.
ahead
I'll say
like
this.
10 seconds or something.
Skip ahead 10 seconds. Everything goes shits up in Hateful Eight at the very end.
A lot
Like,
of shit's up.
people get shot in the dick, get shot in the gut, in the foot, someone's head gets blown apart,
Like-
someone gets hanged really
Yeah,
slowly,
yeah.
twitching. Like,
I
it's
remember that.
horrible, it's great.
It's horrible. It's great.
It's horrible, it's great.
Here's my notes. Yeah. I say I love the way Tarantino introduces his films. Like, it just feels so old school.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of his filmmaking.
Very, very slow burn.
Yeah,
Tarantino
yeah.
films.
But yeah, the way like this title comes up and then it's starring this person and this, it feels so like you're
Yeah.
watching a film from like 1940s or something.
He films it on actual film
Yeah, yeah.
still,
He's
which
he's an old school guy.
he's super old school. I can respect him for it, though.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like in an obnoxious way that detracts from like a viewing experience.
Yeah.
Especially in today's world, like that's so rare. It just feels like a unique style and
Yeah.
kind of refreshing, more so than stuck in its ways or whatever. Yeah, it's
And
really nice.
The film style is more relevant to Inglourious Bastards than any of his
Yeah,
other
yeah,
films.
especially because of it taking place back then
Taking place back then,
and being about films.
films having such a huge part of it, where
Yeah,
it's a really super bold choice to have the films be the bad guy in a way,
yeah,
like
kind of,
propaganda.
Yeah, propaganda films,
Yeah.
because that was a big thing. That was
Yeah.
a big thing back then. Propaganda films. Oh,
And
wow.
also the bold choice to show that, hey, even the guys fighting the Nazis were not good people.
Yeah,
The bastards were genuinely awful people, but
they're pretty horrible. They're
they're sort of
it,
justified.
yeah,
in
they're
a
doing
way,
it to worse people for
Yeah,
sure,
but they're not good people.
but they're still like, you know, that it doesn't look like they're doing it in like in a typical American hero
Yep.
way of just like
They're
we're
doing it for
killing them.
personal fun.
Yeah, they enjoy doing it, and that in itself is a little disturbing.
Yeah.
And I think especially if you didn't have the bad guys be the Nazis, a lot more people would be like, God, these people are it's fucking horrible. Whereas because they're Nazis, a lot of people are just like, yeah, great,
And
fuck those Nazis, fuck them.
even though they are Nazis, I
Yeah.
think if it wasn't for one thing, it would still sort of show them in a good light, and that's
Brad Pitt.
no.
Oh.
Enrico Morricone's soundtrack.
Mm.
The song that
soundtrack.
plays at the end when they're carving the swastika into Christoph Waltz's
Yeah.
forehead, that song is
Feels
much like
so
the end of
justified.
Hateful Eight, where it's just so discordant, so ripped apart strings, just horrific to listen to, that you know this is for pure sadism. There is no justification
They
in
look
this.
so fucking satisfied with themselves.
Yeah, they look satisfied, and the soundtrack is just like awful in such a good way.
Yeah, it's
Morricone
a really
is
good
a
soundtrack.
genius. He's the guy who did Hateful Eight as well.
Yeah, he's wonderful.
Obviously, not the entire soundtrack is his.
Yeah, I don't think so.
A lot of it isn't for Inglourious Bastards, whereas
But
in
it's a
Hateful
really good
Eight,
soundtrack.
yeah, it's absolutely amazing.
It is really, really good.
That's another one of Tarantino's big.
But I think also, what I was saying with Brad Pitt, like the charisma of Brad Pitt,
Yeah.
like you just start liking him.
Buongiorno.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great.
He's funny, and even though he's doing fucked up stuff, because not only is he like so charismatic and likable, but because he's doing it to Nazis as well, just all of that put together.
He's dislikable in a likable
Yeah,
way. Like his character is this exaggerated sort of overly patriotic, sort of overly
it's like
he's made to look uglier than he sort of actually is, with all these deep set wrinkles, sort of this like
Yeah.
constant sneer thing going on.
yeah,
this really
it's such
heavy
a good,
draw.
like, it's almost like a caricature.
Yeah,
that
like,
he's playing.
He
which
is a caricature.
wonderful.
He's a southern
It's
caricature.
really, really good.
It's it's fantastic.
He's so he does such a great performance.
Oh, he's absolutely amazing. He
the
just
thing.
blends into it straight into the role.
He's just so fucking likable, and that's why, like, even at the end when they're doing, which it's generally a horrible thing, but I'm like, this guy's a fucking piece of shit, and we've seen him be a piece of shit throughout this entire movie and terrorize people. Like, he's caused so much harm. I'm like, you fucking carve that shit into his head.
He's bad
You
at his
do
job.
that.
He's terrible at his job.
Yeah,
He's
I mean, he was trying to
absolutely
betray and, like, defect or whatever, and trying to still be shown as like a hero. Wasn't he on the when he's like trying to make a deal with them or whatever? Like, hey, if you do this and then spin it around in the media, like, so I'm actually going to be undercover, and everything that I had to do was, for the good of the country, for the greater good.
Yeah.
It's just because he's a piece of shit and wants to like get out or like whatever. However much.
No, that's Christoph Waltz's
Christoph
character.
Waltz. Fuck. Did they not do it to Christoph Waltz in the end?
He did it to Christoph Waltz in the
Yeah,
end, but
yeah,
you're
that's what I
talking
was
about,
talking about,
him
sorry.
doing it. You never brought up Christoph Waltz.
Sorry,
You just said him,
yeah,
so I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like, this.
sorry.
Oh no.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Sorry, Christoph Waltz. Yeah, about how that's what I'm saying. Like, he's so horrible.
Yeah.
And so that he's done such horrible things throughout the film. And
His charisma is scary as well, because his person is likable. It's scarily likable
But
in that
it's one of those things, at least for me anyway, that it's likable, but then as soon as you see what he's about and the kind of person that he really is, that immediately makes all the kind of likableness super unnerving.
Yeah.
Because you're like, no, but I know you're not like that, and you're just trying to play people, and you're a piece of
like
shit.
the strudel thing. He likes good food, he likes the movies, he likes talking to people, but he's very job focused. The moment
You will get shit done.
he doesn't even care
in a
about
horrible way.
much about the Jews. Like, he doesn't care about like them being Jewish. He respects them being Jewish. He just
But he's like,
he's
this is
job
my job.
focused.
This is what I gotta do.
Yep.
Too bad,
And
and I will do it.
That's even more unnerving
Yeah.
because he doesn't have principles.
Yeah.
He has job focus. He will do whatever it takes to get this job done.
Yeah, and then kind of turns out that he's also kind of wants to be remembered as a good guy by
Because he
trying
has
to
no
defect and
principles.
all that. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have the honor in that sense.
Yep. And the fact that he actually went through with that was even worse, because you're like,
Yeah, 'cause a
oh
lot of
my
time
God, he's one of the highest officers.
You don't expect it to kind of go that far. You don't expect it to be brought up in general of like seemingly the main bad guy.
He was never the main bad guy. That's
but
the
then to
issue.
go through with it, yeah. I mean, obviously Hitler's always the biggest bad guy, and he was also played very well. Like, it's
Respect to
just
the guy
it's
who played
also,
Hitler.
yeah. Respect to Hitler.
Respect to oh God, no. No monetization, please.
Clipped.
Respect to the guy who played Hitler in Inglourious
I mean,
Bastards. He was amazing.
yeah,
he did
I
a fantastic
mean-
job of looking as pathetic as possible.
Yeah. I mean, you know how if every time we swear, did you hear about that? YouTube picks up on that now.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So if you swear in a video,
Well, put it as frick.
that algorithm or whatever
The algorithm.
picks up on that,
Right.
and so it will recommend your video less, I believe. You will get less money from advertisers and stuff like that as well, because they don't want to be as associated with swearing. It's hilarious. There was a thing that was literally like, hey, this is what, like, a Fortnite video or whatever with not swearing is like $6 CPM or something like that. Probably not actually that much, but yeah. And then with swearing is like 3, maybe less. Like it is that stark of a difference.
Fricking hell. Frick.
Yeah, it's really fricking bad. I'm not even sure if they'll censor that. Not censor it, but I'm not sure if it'll.
So short.
You know the worst bit as well was like because Jesse Cox was talking about this and he was like, I can't even say my name because it hears Cox, and instead of COX it thinks I'm saying Cox.
Right.
And it will. Yeah,
demonetize his videos for saying his name.
Not demonetized, but yeah, it'll get affected in the algorithm and the CPM and stuff.
It'll get less money, so
yeah,
in a way it is being demonetized.
Yeah, it's close enough. Yeah, it's really bad.
That's really odd.
Oh god. Anyway, yeah, first scene is still one of the best ever made. Really, yeah. The tension, the charisma brought about how like polite he is and like kind of killing them with kindness.
Not kindness.
But like that's how he's kind of getting across to the guy.
Yeah.
Like he's just like really passive aggressive intimidation. He's coming across like a really nice guy. Like,
I mean, it's not even passive aggressive. He's saying he won't give the guy any further consequences, which is like it's not aggressive at all. It's the exact opposite.
Comes across so nice, and then
he's just doing his job. He doesn't care for like punishments or anything. Yeah. Like his job isn't find the people who are hiding them and kill the people who are hiding them. It's find the Jews. That's all you have to do.
Yeah.
So that's all he does. He says, "Give me them, and I won't hurt you at all."
And the girl,
and he kept his word.
The girl from who's going to be in Death Stranding was also in that scene. Leia Seydoux. Why do I just have? Oh yeah, no, I think because I just have a thing to say, ha ha ha. This comically large pipe though, and it's the pipe that he smokes. Like he gets out, it's fucking huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like, of course you would have a pipe like that. Do you mind if I smoke? Like my dick, like it's ridiculous. Yeah, and it's like it's almost like the entire thing was an act because it was building up to like he's almost acting naive to the fact that he knows they're right there.
Yeah,
and he's very casual about it, like oh yeah, and then by the end he's like, no, I know they're under him.
I don't think he did know they were there. I think
bluffing,
like.
Bluffing?
Not bluffing, but the fact that like when he said that one particular thing and the farmer had that 1,000-yard stare, it was like at that moment he knew.
Yeah,
like he was just sort
of course.
He was on purpose making the guy as uncomfortable as possible to see whether or not they would be there. And the moment he did know they were there, the lighting got darker and his face went.
Yeah, the lighting. Oh, it's so well done. So well done. Yeah, saying the music, as well as it being great, it's like it's really overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like in almost all of Tarantino's films, it's like its own character.
It's difficult.
It really sticks out.
Yeah.
He doesn't try and have it as just like background music. It's like, no, this is fucking music, and it's gonna tell just as much of a story as the visuals are, which I think is really really cool. Saying like just the attention to detail as well, like scars and like changing the language and stuff, and do you mind if we speak in this language now? And like that's another thing that's nice as well, as Tarantino doesn't treat his audience as idiots. Like he's fine with having entire scenes be in subtitles, in German, and like it's not a big deal. And if they start speaking English, then they'll usually a preface or whatever before they do, which is really nice. And they don't have to do that, but it just helps make it a little more believable. I was saying, even when it's Nazis, I fucking hate scalping. It's just so, like, just
again, you're not meant to like these people.
It's just like, and one way to get me to really not like what they're doing is, like, scalping. They're already dead. Do you need to do that?
Scarification, literal suicide bombers. Having them stand over Hitler, shooting at his face and laughing for like a solid 10 seconds, whilst the blood and mulch just goes everywhere. Like they're not likable people.
Yeah, he also Hugo Stiglitz.
Stiglitz.
Yeah. It reminded me so much of B.J. Blazkowicz, because it's the guy who's like, they tell legends, but he's the Nazi killer, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, he just looks quite a bit like him, and just he kind of reminded me of him because like he's the Nazi killer and everybody fears him. I don't know, that just...
He just
like,
dies so easily as well, though. Like,
he
it's...
does.
That's a Tarantino thing as well. Like, hey, he's a super
building
important...
up a legend
Yeah.
and like, oh
Like,
wow, be scared of him.
Hateful Eight, the Hangman.
Yeah.
He just dies on coffee. He doesn't get a cool shootout ending. He just dies in coffee.
Yeah, it's really good. But I was like, if they ever make a Wolfenstein film, that guy's got a fucking plan. I'm not sure if he'll still look like that now, but like he just immediately the look and the kind of legend of being a Nazi killer. I was like, this is like fucking PJ Blazkowicz. It's awesome.
And the Bear Jew, like. The build-up for that is sort of the reverse, where like you hear the stories and it's so comically overdone in terms of the stories that you think it's going to be a reversal of like, oh, he's super small actually, but then he comes out and you're like, oh, that man's large. That's a large man.
That's a bear. That's a bear right there.
Yeah.
Oof, and not a cozy one. I just have like Brad Pitt is so damn good because he is. He's really really good. I was loving to see the just like different parties making different plans that totally clash with each other, even if they're trying to accomplish the same goal.
Yeah.
Like, because they just don't know about each other. And that's so great. It's so fucking, like, realistic. Because, like, of course they don't know about each other. They're so different. And it's such a complex thing to have a war. And that, like, everything's a mess in war.
I think there's one actual protagonist in this film.
The woman?
Yeah.
The owner? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
She's the only protagonist in this film.
Yeah,
well, her and her love interest.
Yeah.
And not the German one.
Yeah, they were lovely. I just love that they come up with that sort of plan.
It's difficult to not feel sort of bad for the Nazi sniper guy who held out in the tower. It's sort of difficult to not feel bad for him because he was more of a product of the fame that went to his head. But then you remember he is a Nazi, so it's okay. And he is a piece of shit who let it go
and
to
also,
his head.
like...
it's super rapey.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, even at the very end.
That's what I'm
like,
saying, though.
Yep, okay, you can die.
That's a product of that going to his head. Like, he never got anything who didn't... Like, that he asked... He never didn't get anything that he asked for, sort of thing. So...
Yeah, it's explained as to why.
Still. Yeah, but he's still a piece of shit, don't get me wrong.
He's bad. But yeah, I was saying, of course, Tarantino has his movie focus on other movies in some sort of way, just because like he needs to put his love of movies in there, just as he needs to put his love of feet in there. Because somebody gets injured in the foot, because
the actress gets shot in the foot.
Yeah, I literally just put down the quotes. Let me see your foot. Of course, fucking obviously.
That was still a fantastic scene though, where he takes it out of his bag, he slides it onto her foot and says, "What do you know? It fits." And then immediately starts choking the fuck out of her, and it's like, okay, wow, that's like a very sudden. He's at a movie premiere. He knows Hitler is there. He doesn't want anything to go wrong for his job, so he just immediately on the spot kills her.
Do my thing. Yeah, it was very quick as well.
And I want to say that's Brad Pitt who killed her, because he gave her the excuse of mountain climbing. Which was ridiculous, never would have worked. So stupid, if she just sort of had the excuse of explaining what happened in a different way, then it easily could have resulted with her coming out of that alive.
I could see that.
And the party still having been captured. She died because Brad Pitt's character is an idiot and a fuck up who we love.
Yeah, I love that entire thing. Just the like his fucking Italian accent.
Buongiorno. It's great.
And then the guys who don't know Italian as much, they sound more Italian and all.
I want to say...
It was so good.
There was one thing that I expected out of Christoph Waltz, where, he was asking them questions in Italian and all they had to do was reply "sì."
Yeah, "sì."
I wanted him to ask a question where the answer wouldn't be "sì," so they would respond "sì," get it wrong, and he'd be like, yes, and still act like it was correct, and that would sort of twig onto them. But he didn't because he already knew because he's a fucking genius.
Yeah, also, so obvious. That was made it so funny. It's a surprisingly funny film. Just with the performances and a lot like dark humor and stuff.
Even
as well.
Hateful Eight is a really funny film.
Oh, yeah,
it's just horrific.
It's just making. It's almost like, you know, dark comedy out of the horrors of war, that sort of thing. You know, yeah. But Inglourious Basterds, it's a good choice.
Fantastic.
It was a good choice. I was glad that I could like go back and
finally get it down.
Yeah, finally watch the rest of it because it was excellent and really Just I want to end it with that smiling about how proud they were of their work. It's like, yeah, you know
No,
what?
sir. I think this is your finest work yet.
It's just such like, yeah, that was a good film. Yeah, it really was. Speaking of
Totally,
good films, my next choice.
Oh.
Because it's October. It's spooky month.
Sorry, I scared myself.
But I don't, like, you guys know me, I don't really do.
He's a pussy. But we love it.
That too. I don't really do horror films. But you know what? We're gonna, what?
What?
Sorry, what?
I said Cabin in the Woods because I was trying to guess. No. But that would be a good choice because it's not a spooky film.
No, but no, I'm not even saying it's not a spooky film. But like it has to be really good. Or I hear that it's really, really good.
Oh, it's a classic.
To justify me sitting through it like I did with It, for example. It's not It.
The new It.
Yeah, the new one.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that was excellent. Still wouldn't have been able to do that in cinema, but yeah.
Oh no, the projector scene killed me in cinema.
So Alien.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Sure. You're not too spooked by Alien, I assume. You're not too spooked by much anyway. I
mean, it got me really.
Yeah, I know it got you really badly, which is surprising.
But yeah, no, Alien is fine because it's not a spooky film so much as it's a tense one.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's horror, but it's also like sci-fi tension.
It used to be a horror, now it's a thriller.
Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it'll probably still get to me, but we'll find out. I've never seen it before. It's just one of those things, like many classic horror. I've never seen Halloween or Friday the 13th.
Oh, we gotta do.
Or Nightmare on Elm Street.
We gotta do Halloween at some point. Halloween's good because that's a.
Apparently, the new one's alright as well.
I'm very glad. I'm
heard
very glad.
some good things. Heard some damn good things.
Halloween is great because it's a very human. It's a very human killer, but not human enough to make you sort of think that, oh no, this could happen. Like, it's very clear that it's a child who was already completely fucked up.
Yeah.
Not of his own family or anything, though. He was just a fucked person.
Yeah, which is a spooky thing.
Well, it's not spooky enough to make you think that it can happen, which is nice.
Yeah, I know, but you just see it and you're like, pretty spooky.
He's in Dead by Daylight, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
He's a ton of fun because his mechanics are like, you watch survivors from a distance in order to build up a meter.
That's cool.
And when you build it up enough, the Halloween theme starts playing as you run at them stabbing.
Solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to play that at some point. But yeah, move for next time. Alien. Watch it, especially if you haven't, like me, and you just slacking.
We watched the start of it in media studies.
Yeah, we did. But it's just such an influential like film on so many levels that it's ridiculous that I've not seen it. I've played more of Alien Isolation than I have watched of Alien, which is quite bad.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So that'll be next time. Thanks for watching this time, though.
Thank you for watching this time.
A lot to catch up on. Thanks
Never
for
talk about Dan
it.
Schneider to me ever, by the way.
Yeah, I don't
That
talk about
man
that.
is filth.
And yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Cheers. The sad cups, the empty
sad
one.
cups.
That's the sad
No,
end.
it fits because it's the end.
Full at the start, end,
Yeah.
empty.
There we go.
We never know how to end these fucking things. Bye, guys. See ya.
Yeah.